Hello again, everybody. It's Scott Casper, Takedown Media. Our coverage of the sport continues. This time we head to Boone, North Carolina. App State, the head coach there, JohnMark Bentley. JohnMark, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you, Scott. I'm glad to be here. It's been a good summer, and looking forward to talking with you.
Well, before we get to a review of the summer, I know you were very, very hard at work trying to bring in some great young coaches, and you did just that. You announced the hiring of both Todd Shavrin and Josh Russo to your staff that'll start this fall. How did that happen?
Well, Scott, we had a couple of assistant openings. I had one assistant coach open up after the national tournament, and I was in the process of looking for an assistant coach, and I really didn't advertise it too well until I'd kind of done a little research on kind of what I wanted. And then during that time, an assistant that had been with me for 5 years decided that he wanted to take a different career path. And so then I was looking for two assistant coaches. And
Wow.
so it's been a busy spring and early summer. Took a lot of time and energy to find, the right fit and the right, the right dynamic on my coaching staff for my new assistants. But I'm very confident that I've got the guys for the job. And, Todd and Josh both started July 1, and, just really excited to have them on board.
We're talking with JohnMark Bentley. It was announced recently that Todd Shavrin and Josh Russo would be added to his staff. And what they bring with them is a ton of experience, Coach, not just as athletes, but also as coaches. So let's talk a little bit about Shavrin first. He spent last season as a volunteer assistant at Mizzou, and prior to that, he was on the staff at Drexel as well.
Yeah. Well, Todd, he's got a lot of experience, being, at two different programs and obviously different, very different programs, as far as funding and tradition and those kind of things. So he's got a good, well-rounded perspective, and being a part of a successful program at Missouri and just being under Coach Smith, who I think does a phenomenal job of running his program, and I think he's a great mentor for his young coaches, and so very excited to have him on board. I think he will be an extreme asset to our team and to me also as an assistant coach.
I think what you talked about is in referencing, and I'll paraphrase the experience of a Brian Smith, for example. Well, you're not necessarily long in the tooth, but you've been in the business for a while. You know what it takes to be a good assistant coach. You know what your expectations are, and they're high. You guys are always looking for national championships. You're looking for national title contenders, and you're also looking for All-Americans. These guys have done that. Shavrin put together a 86-44 record, finished his career in the Big 12 with the title. Went on to take six at the NCAA championships that year at 141. A San Diego kid, so he's got ties to the West Coast and everywhere in between. That's kind of a neat pickup, and for him, he gets to live in Boone, North Carolina. I mean, this is very picturesque, an incredible place for him to be.
Yeah, I think Todd is like I say, he's just getting to know the area, and he brings a lot of experience with him, both as a competitor and as a coach. And the one thing I really think he's going to do an outstanding job is with recruiting and building our network with high school coaches and camp and things like that. I think he's going to be a phenomenal recruiter.
I couldn't agree with you more. And after spending one season as assistant at Buffalo, Josh Russo is joining your staff, and a very successful career while at Bloomsburg before jumping into coaching. And Bloomsburg has had some outstanding athletes, but also some very good coaches. Seems to be a neat launching place for guys like Johnny Stutzman and others. But now you see Bloomsburg continuing to back its wrestling program. It's because of guys like Josh Russo.
Yeah, I think Josh is, he's got a blue collar type mentality, and I think he's going to hustle and do a great job, and obviously with the recruiting, but also just helping develop our guys and helping, I guess, continue to take this program to new heights. I mean, we've had a lot of success here recently, and we've produced All-Americans, and we're looking to continue that in the years moving forward.
You know, as much experience as he had on the mat and as much success as he had in all 4 years, with his 40 and 25 record, top 20 in the 4 years at 149. He also has a third place finish in the EWL, the always tough EWL, and then the 2013 NCAA championship qualifications. So he knows what it takes to get there. Here's what I see in Rusev. Perhaps you'll agree. A degree in communications, you pair that along with a great experience as an athlete and a coach. This is a guy who can help you forward your message both on social media and other electronic forums. This is an excellent pickup for you guys.
Yeah, I think Josh is going to do an outstanding job. Him and I have really hit it off. Our philosophies are very similar. And I think he's just, right on board with what we're doing here at App State. And I think he's going to be, like I said, another great addition to my staff.
So both guys started, what, 15, 16 days ago?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they started the 1st of July.
First thing you do is you get them some Mountaineer gear.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They've got a little bit of that now.
All right, and you know what? There's a lot of folks out there sporting Mountaineer gear about this time of year. Why? Because they came to your camps. You had some great team camps. You've established an incredible team and camp system for the summers there. Can you talk to us a bit about what you guys experienced this year?
Yeah, we had another great year. Very blessed with the team camps that we ran here at Appalachian. We had almost 1,300 campers for our combined for our 3 team camps, and our camps have an outstanding reputation, and I think they were the original team camps that kind of took off. And I think one thing that kind of makes me feel proud is a lot of different universities and wrestling programs, they're actually trying to model their team camp after our team camp to try to experience some of the same success. So I think that's a compliment to the kind of camp that we run. And, I found myself a couple times this year talking to some coaches, and they had been to other team camps that had kind of tried to model our camp, but didn't have quite the logistical and the setup and the things that we've done because we've ran it for so many years now. And, so I think that's one good thing. I think a lot of programs may try to run a camp very similar to ours, but I think we've got it down pat, and I think that's what keeps new teams coming is they want to see kind of what all the buzz is about, and we had another great year this year.
We're talking about JohnMark Bentley. App State Wrestling is what we're talking about in particular. If you'd like more information, you can find it online at their website, appstatesports.com. Click on sports, click on wrestling. In particular, do your research. Look at the coaches, look at the news, look at the roster from last year. Let's talk a bit about the expectations. Who's coming in? Who are any of your new recruits, Coach, that have already signed their papers, got their accommodations, all that? Are any of those expected to start this year, or are you going to expect guys to work their way into the lineup?
Honestly, we have a couple of weights where it's kind of up in the air right now. We could very well have a couple of freshmen starting, especially at our middle weights, at 49 and 57. We've got it kind of wide open at 49. We got a tough incoming freshman who was a high school All-American, Matt Zavostowski. He's got a good chance of starting at 49. At 57, we got a couple of Southeast kids that were state champions and competed well in national tournaments. And Elliot Rayford and Angel Nahar, a North Carolina kid that they may be battling for that spot. But then there's a couple of other guys that redshirted a year ago that are also vying to try to get in those starting spots at 49 and 57. So it's going to be real interesting to see how the mix is. But I would say that those two weight classes, 49 and 57, there's a chance that we may have, a new face in our lineup in those weights.
I love it. So you're bringing in a couple guys at a couple different weights as far as coaches go that can absolutely relate. Just so happens to the weights you're needing to fill or at least fill out. So good planning on your part, Coach.
Yeah, yeah, we're excited.
You're getting all kinds of support too from the athletic department there, and perhaps it's for a job well done, or could it be that they just flat out love wrestling?
Yeah, I think we've just got a great tradition in wrestling, got a great alumni base, and we bring a lot of funding to this campus through our summer camps, and we fund a big portion of our operating expenses every year. And so, it's just a great place for wrestling, and it's got a long-standing tradition. Our home attendance for meets has been growing, and we had almost 900 spectators last year when we wrestled Chattanooga at home. We got a big duel coming this year with Missouri coming to our gym, so we've got some good meets on the agenda, and so our fans will be looking to pack Varsity Gym.
It'll be interesting to see Coach Shavrin coaching against the Tigers of Mizzou.
Yeah,
How about that? All right, so how are you going to miss Dominic Parisi?
without question. He's one of my favorite kids I've ever coached. He's just one of those kids that he does all the extras, the little things. You don't have to tell him to do anything. He's just self-motivated, and was just a pleasure to coach. He always did a great job on the wrestling mat. You knew he was going to give you 100%. There was no one that worked harder than him. And he did the same thing in the classroom. He was a 3-time academic All-American for us, and it's hard to just replace someone like that, not just on the wrestling mat, because we've got a pretty talented guy, Vito Pasone, that's going to be coming in and filling that spot at 25, who we think could be an All-American. So, but just the leadership and the qualities that he possessed, it's going to be tough. But a good thing is he's got one more year of grad school, so he's going to be around our program, and will obviously be a good workout partner for some of those lightweights as well for another year.
That's outstanding. So his leadership continues, and you're right. That's perhaps why I asked that question. Is about how effective and infectious he is to be around. Is a real likable guy, as Parisi. And then you've got Pasone. You mentioned Vito Pasone at 125. Difference of about 4 inches in those guys. Has Pasone grown any?
Not really. He's definitely a 25-pounder. Last year he had a decent year for us at 133. He wrestled up a weight class last year and beat a couple of national qualifiers and was real close to making to the national tournament up a weight. And so it's going to be really exciting to see him back down at a more natural weight for him at 125. And he is very dangerous, and he's got tons of skills. So we're excited to see him down at that weight class.
Look for them on Facebook. Look for them on Twitter. They're out there. They're impactful. They're well coached. With the addition of Shavrin and Rusa, this is a staff that you want to stand up, take a look at it. Now we understand Missouri's on the schedule, and they're going to be coming in. That makes it even that much more interesting for me, and I'm just a plain old fan, dude. JohnMark Bentley, always good to talk to you, brother. Anything we missed you desperately want to talk about today in regard to App State Wrestling?
No, we just appreciate all the support, appreciate all the teams that continue to support our camp system, as it's a big part of our funding of our program. And, we're looking for we got some guys that we're looking to make some noise at the national tournament this coming year.
JohnMark Bentley has been our guest. He's been in the Nike hot seat today. I'm Scott Casper. Thanks to JohnMark. Thanks to the good folks in Boone, North Carolina, doing it the right way. Appalachian State University, the Mountaineers on the move. Thanks for watching.